Okay, so like I've never done one of these before, and my table is a massive wreck. So you guys, you guys gotta hang in there for me. But I thought it would be fun to do maybe like a little draw with me, even though like I have no clue what I'm gonna talk about. Like I have a couple questions, and I have a fun story I could maybe share. But other than that, we're just gonna wing it because I don't know what I'm doing. So you guys are in for the ride. Um, yeah, my it's so messy, but I don't feel like cleaning it, and I got a burst of inspiration to draw. So like we're just gonna do whatever. This is my old sketchbook, by the way, like my old one from before my first video that I posted. This was the sketchbook that I left for that, and now I'm finishing it. But we're gonna finish this page of OCs and then maybe draw some Walking Dead fan art. I don't know. It depends on how much time we got. So I've never really formally introduced myself on this channel, so I thought maybe I could do that first. So this is hi, I'm Kurt. You can use masculine pronouns for me or they them, I don't care. Either one's fine. I'm 19. I graduated high school last year. And I've just been doing art as a hobby for how many years now? You can hear my cats, maybe. But I've been doing art since like, this beginning of middle school, which I really need to like find some of my old middle school stuff and show you. Cause like I know I did a sketchbook tour of my first sketchbook, but that was nothing. Like, it gets so much worse than that. Like, I promise it's worse. Like, I had my anime phase. And it kind of ruined me for a little bit. But anyway, today I'm drawing my vampire OC Leona with my friend M's vampire OC Lynn. They're a part of a group of polyamorous vampires. They share a boyfriend, they live in a house, and they raise Lynn's younger sister, and they live in Portland. And I love them. So, we're drawing them, and we're gonna draw some pomegranates around them, because I've been thinking about pomegranates recently, and like, can you blame me? Because those things are delicious. Like, I would eat a pomegranate every day if I could. And I'm trying to like keep this in the frame, but I can't like see where my phone's at. So if I start like sliding out of frame, I apologize in advance for that. Also, I'm like not great with talking and drawing at the same time, but we're gonna try, we're gonna go for it, I guess. We're gonna be a little girly pop today. I don't know if I want to do some questions or not. I probably will, if I can find where I wrote them down. So, someone asked what made me want to start YouTube, and honestly, it looked fun. Okay, I wanted to be like one of those big art YouTubers, even though I have like no way to edit my videos at all, besides like the program that comes on my phone. And like, I got a new phone and it came with a nice camera, and I was like, I could film sketchbook tours with this, and so I did, and then I just like posted it, and now we're here. And if you're watching this, I love you, because my other video blew up, and then I posted a second video and like it got barely any attention. So I'm curious to see. Oh, my lead broke. I'm curious to see how well this one is gonna do. It might be a little interesting. Someone also asked how I feel about YouTube, and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't been on here long enough to form an opinion. because I can just like do a sketchbook tour, which I used to do on my Instagram anyway. I never thought about actually uploading them to YouTube, which I guess I should have started doing, because people like my art apparently. But yeah, it seems nice so far. I haven't really encountered any assholes yet, but I'm sure I'll earn that with time. Oh, I probably will earn that with time so much. I'm waiting, because I'm just gonna delete all of their comments and pretend none of them exist. And we're gonna ball. We're gonna be going. Right now, I am working on, it's so hard to write and talk at the same time. But, I was telling my friend Gloria / Ace about my vampires, and they were like, it's like that SpongeBob scene where SpongeBob's like, what do you normally do when I'm gone? And Patrick's like, wait for you to get back. Because the third vampire who's not pictured here, their boyfriend, is a daywalker. So he gets to go out during the day, and they're just home alone, like, waiting for him to return. And it's so sad. My cats are, like, beating each other up. The hell. Yeah, so I'm drawing Lynn saying that, yeah, he's cute. Shout out to M for making him, because I love him so much. This is also another character of M's. This is Jackson Smokes, and he's like a playboy, and he has like fire powers and stuff, and he's really cool. I love him so much. Wait for you to get back. There we go. Oh, I wrote it. Yes. Okay. What was the third question? Oh, someone asked me my opinions on fandom culture, which is a very fun question to answer. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't like it. I like the idea of being part of a community, but once fandoms reach like a certain point, they get so toxic, and like, I don't know why. Probably just because like you can't have that many people in one place without one of them like ending up being bad. I need a reference for this pomegranate. I can't draw pomegranates out of my head. But yeah, like, fandoms, I feel like they're good in theory, but bad in practice. Because if you're part of, like, one of the really, really big fandoms, like, there is gonna be toxicity no matter what you do, and you won't be able to escape it, and you'll probably meet some really cool people, but you'll probably also meet some really, really crappy people, and I don't know. Because, like, if it weren't for fandom, I wouldn't have met some of my closest friends, including M, who is, if you don't know, is my best friend. I've probably said it before. I've already mentioned them in this video. They're my best friend, and without, like, the Marvel fandom, I wouldn't know them. And it's so weird to me that there can be so much good and so much bad in the same place. But, like, I don't know. Because, like, also, I'll see, like, a good edit or some good fan art of my favorite character and, like, go wild. And then there'll be people in the comments, like, bitching about it, especially if it's, like, fan art where they made them gay. Because, like, you know, it's fandom. We're gonna make gay ships. It's just gonna happen. And I'm like, how old are you, person on the internet, where you're commenting on a 17-year-old's drawing of, like, Billy and Stu from Scream kissing and complaining about them not being gay, you know? Like, I don't get it. It irks me sometimes. And then there's, like, once something gets too popular, it just makes me angry for no reason. Like, Like, I got these bat tattoos because of Eddie Munson. I'll come out and say it. However, that was before he died and before everyone went, like, extra crazy about him. They were already doing it, but, like, people went, like, extra wild after him after that happened, and it just bothered me, and I regretted getting my tattoos. I don't now. I'm fine with it now. You know, I'm just gonna own it. They're just bats. I love them. But, like, sheesh. I don't know. I don't know. That was a big rant. So the next question someone asked was my favorite bands or song. And right now I've really been into Ghost because my coworker dragged me into it. But beyond that, I also really like Nirvana. I like a lot of 80s music, like 80s pop. It's so good for no reason. Like, I love Madonna, I love Blondie, I love Michael Jackson, I like Elvis. Who else? I love Hozier, and I'm obsessed with Halsey's Badlands album specifically. Like, the rest of her music is okay, but her Badlands album hits me hard every time, like, so, like, in the gut. Every time I sit down and listen to it, or like one of the songs come on shuffle, I'm like, ooh. Like, it's so good. And I know it makes me sound like an edgy kid from, like, 2012, but, like, it's so good. Oh, hi, Gandalf. He's over here. You can't see him, but my cat's over here drinking his water from his fountain because he's a little spoiled baby. So someone asked the next question. They asked if I'm enjoying my tattoos, how painful they were, and what the next one I'm planning to get is. So I have this tattoo, which is the K Records logo. It was the tattoo that Kurt Cobain had on himself, and I got it because I kind of stole his name. And then my Eddie Munson bats, they were not painful at all, for me anyway. They were both done very quick, and they were both black and white ink, and I've heard some colors can, like, hurt more than others. They both healed up really well. Honestly, the worst part about them was, like, not scratching the scabs off. And as for what I'm planning to get next, I'm really scared because, like, the arms aren't a painful spot, but the next tattoo I want is going to be on my ankle, and I know that's going to hurt, like, so bad. It's going to be, like, probably the most painful thing I've ever lived through. I'm kidding, but, like, yeesh. But I want the little, like, VFD symbol from a series of unfortunate events on my ankle. And then I also want to get some horror movie characters somewhere on my body, but I don't know where. I don't even know if I, like, want them yet, 100% for sure. But, sheesh, I don't know. I also want a spider and a snake somewhere, because I love them. I also want to get Loki's runes on my body, maybe, like, underneath my collarbone. I don't know yet. I kind of want to wait and, like, make sure I'm either getting top surgery or not before I get any tattoos, like, anywhere on my chest. Because I don't want to, like, get a tattoo there and then get my titties cut off and then, like, have them look weird, you know? Because that would be sad. Because I was thinking about getting, like, Tiffany Valentine's Chucky tattoo. I was like, that'd be kind of cute. But I'm like, I don't know, because I might want to get rid of my boobs. Anyway, the next question was, where do I get inspo from, and what artists inspire my style? The second part of that question is kind of kind of easy to answer because I made a whole list. So very early on, I was very inspired by Mark Crilly, which is why I had so many bad, like, anime girls just everywhere. And I got all 3 of his Mastering Manga books for Christmas, and I remember just, like, I looked up to this man so much. It was a little nuts. And then after Mark Crilly was AZ Boy. I just tried to put a cap on a pencil. Anyway. Yeah, it was AZ Boy because I got into my Lego Joker kind of phase, and they drew Lego Joker a lot, and then their Marvel fan art, like, spiraled me into the Marvel fandom as well. And which, as you know, if you've been following me for any extended period of time, like longer than a year or 2, I used to be very, very, very obsessed with Loki. He was the only thing I would draw. It's gotten better now. I will draw other things now, but, you know, it's still a little guilty pleasure to just doodle him every once in a while. He's got a very, like, shapely face for drawing. And then some artists that inspire me now. I just wrote down some people I follow who, like, every time their art shows up on my Instagram feed, I'm just, like, gawking over it every time. Omnikins, Junk Mix Art, Pop's Teeth, Banana Birch Arts, and Sketches of Shay are, like, all amazing artists on Instagram, and if you don't follow them, you should, like, definitely go check them out, because they're all amazing, and they all, like, every time I see their stuff, it makes me want to draw. It's like, sheesh, like, how did your guys' art get so sexy? I don't know. I wish my art was that sexy. And then also, like, all of my artist friends inspire me because we'll, like, bounce ideas off of each other and do little doodles for each other, and it's really sweet. Especially M. I like to draw ROCs a lot. Yeah, and things that I find inspiration from, I like to, like, have little conversations with characters, like, in my brain, and then draw them. Either my own characters or other people's characters. I like to draw things that have happened in my life. Like, the other day I met Matthew Lillard, so I did some, like, sketches of him as Stu. That Matthew Lillard story is a whole different story for another day, because if I start going on about that, this video is going to be way too long. But, and I also like to just draw things I see or go onto Pinterest and just, like, I have a big old drawing board. I think it's got, like, 800 pins or something right now. And I'll just draw things in Pinterest if I don't have any other ideas, like, if I'm that pressed for them. And if anyone's interested in that, I can, like, throw you a link in the comments and then pin it. Just, like, let me know. I don't know. It's got a lot on it, but I just kind of, like, draw whatever comes into my brain. Like, sometimes I'll see something and I'll be like, I want to draw that, and so if I have the time, I will sit down and do it. I don't really know how else to explain it. I found that keeping, like, a smaller sketchbook with you at all times to scribble ideas you have, and, like, try to limit yourself to pen, because this will help you loosen up even more, especially if you're, like, really perfectionist-y about sketchbooks. Like, limit yourself to pen. Like, you will feel so much better about your perfectionism by the time that book is over. But just, like, keep a log of your ideas. Like, write them down if you don't feel like drawing that day. Scribble out some thumbnails, and then make it prettier, like, in your bigger sketchbook later. It's very helpful. At least that's what I like to do now. Also, the next question was how I came up with my username. So a long time ago, my username used to be Loki the Snowman. I got sick of that. I changed it to Loki Snow with 2 eyes. That was the account on Instagram. I ended up getting like 11,000 followers. And then I just decided I was sick of it. And so I like put that account on private, and like I didn't want to delete it altogether because all my old art was on there, and some of that I like don't have anymore. So I kept it up, but I just privated it and started a new art account a few months later. And that one was Icy Fell, which is the username I go by now. I kind of wanted to like keep the snow theme, but I didn't know what else to do. And I was having a bit of a Good Omens kick, and I was like, the name Aziraphale is really pretty. I don't even care what you think, if you like Good Omens or not. You have to admit the name Aziraphale is really pretty. So I was like, what if I just like stole the last little bit of his name and mixed it with like Icy to keep the kind of snow theme going on? And so I got Icy Fell, and I was like, it's got a good ring to it. And so I kept it, and here we are now. Yeah, that's about it. I didn't really put a lot of thought into it. I was just kind of like making stuff up in my brain, like trying to figure it out. I don't know. Next question asked how my beignet experience was, and let me tell you, those things were delicious. That was the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Second to meeting Matthew Lillard. Yeah, it was pretty delicious, if I do say so myself. It was so good. So good. I've never had a beignet in my life. If you don't know, I live in Ohio. And like I went down to Columbus a few days ago. Not a few days ago, that was a few weeks ago now. And there was like a Creole place, and they had beignets, and they had like this delicious, like, I forget what it was called, but it was vegetarian, and it had like mushrooms and something else, and it was like on rice, and it was really good. And I actually cleaned my plate, which never happens. Like, I'm so bad about like finishing a plate of food, but I did it that day, and it was a lot of food, and I was just like, ugh. It was amazing. It was so good. And then I ate 4 beignets after. They were delicious. I miss them already. The next question asked me if I prefer the Owl House or She-Ra, and I'm gonna have to say She-Ra. I know it's older now than the Owl House, like the Owl House is ongoing, but I feel like She-Ra had not only, like, this is not the fault of anyone at the Owl House whatsoever, but She-Ra had the time to develop into what it needed to be. And since the Owl House got cut a little short, I don't think it really had that time to grow. And I haven't caught up with, like, the later episodes at all. I will say I love the first season, I love the second season. They are adorable. I love Amity and Luz, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to say She-Ra, just because also I like the stakes feel a lot higher to me, and personally I relate to Adora a lot more than I relate to Luz. I feel like if the Owl House had come out like a few years ago, I would have definitely related to Luz, like when I was in middle school. Like, I would have been like, she's just like me, for real. But, I don't know, this is gonna make me sound like ancient, but I feel like I'm a little too old for the Owl House to, like, really hit me as hard as it's hitting some of the younger queers. I don't know. Yeah, but, I don't know, She-Ra just hit me really hard. I don't know why. And I love Double Trouble so much. They're so perfect. I that is what I wish I could be as a gender fluid trans masc person. Double Trouble is what I wish I could be. I wish I could just shapeshift whenever. It would be so perfect. I don't know. So the next question is the thoughts on my Chucky. My thoughts on the Chucky show and my favorite Chucky movie. So actually, I have not watched season 2 of the Chucky show, and I've only watched part of season 1 because I have like 12 emails, and so I kept making free sci-fi accounts with like the 4 movie credits or whatever it is they give you, and like re-signing up again and again so I could like watch it. And I got bored after going through 2 accounts. Like, it got to be too much work. But from what I watched, it is amazing and I love it, and I'm glad we're getting that gay rep in with Chucky. And the gender fluid moment is so iconic, and I love him, you know? If you don't know, I have a little Chucky doll that I carry around, and like, he's my son. I dress him in little baby clothes. Like, he's my boy. That is my boy. So, I don't know. Being validated by Chucky really did something special in my heart. As for favorite movies, I am fond of the original Child's Play solely because that was the first, like, slasher or horror movie in general I got to watch. I was gonna say Crimson Peak was my first horror movie, but, like, that doesn't really count as horror. It's more of a gothic romance, like, than anything. So, I do consider Chucky, like, my first horror movie that I can remember. And the Andy as a little boy is so cute, so, like, that definitely holds a special place in my heart. That being said, I'm also very fond of Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, simply because that's when the franchise stopped trying to take itself so seriously, and I think that's when they really came into their own commercially and artistically, for lack of better words. So yeah, I love how silly Seed of Chucky is. Like, the opening credits even just will make me cackle every time. It's a very good movie. And then Tiffany Valentine is just, find me someone who doesn't love Tiffany Valentine, really. Like, she is everyone's wife. So the next question is how to keep from comparing my art with others. And honestly, that is a question that I'm probably not qualified to answer, because I'm gonna be honest, I still do that. I really do. I still do that, and I don't know how to stop. Like, it's an issue. It's a bit of an issue. I will say that, like, just giving myself a break and stepping back from art in general can help me to keep from doing that, and just appreciating other people's art without having my own art in mind. Like, I can love someone's art and think it is gorgeous without comparing it to my own and being like, why isn't my art that good? You know? And I think it's very important, especially for younger artists, to keep in mind that if you put in the work, you will get to the point that you want to be with time. Like, you will get there. I promise you will get there if you spend enough time, because art is a craft, and just like playing guitar or learning another language, it takes time. But if you don't give up, you will become very, very good. And I know that's like what everybody always says, but it's true. Like, you start focusing on like building up your actual skills, like learn your technical skills, experiment in different styles, and eventually you will get into your own little niche and you will be unstoppable. That sounds so cheesy, but like that's how it works with everyone. So that's really the best advice I have to give on that matter. And that is, like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't follow my own advice. I still do the same thing. I think a lot of artists, no matter their skill level, always do the same thing. They always wish their art would look like something it's not, and sometimes you just have to tell that little voice to shut up, and you need to have self-love and just validate yourself a little, you know? Like, give yourself a little treat. Your art is good, it's worth it, you know? But that's my 2 cents to say on that. My favorite medium was the next question, and I will say for the longest time I was a traditional type of guy. When I got my iPad in, what was that? Like, I was probably like 14. I got my iPad Pro with Procreate, and I got spoiled. I started doing digital art all the time. For years, digital art was like my go-to, but recently I've gotten back into like the swing of traditional art, and it's got something calming about it. I don't know what it is, but like I just love the feeling of different like pens and pencils on paper, and like being able to shade it and physically hold my art. There's something about that like scratches an itch in my brain, and I can't really explain it other than phrase it like that. Like, it just scratches an itch in my brain. So I really have been getting back into traditional art lately. I've dabbled in a lot of different kinds of traditional art, but I will say just like pencil and paper and like making collages are probably what I tend to enjoy the most, just because it's the most comfortable for me. It's what I've been doing for the longest. However, I don't know if you could see this, but this is a little relief sculpture I did in school a year ago and painted it with acrylic paint, and it was very fun to sort of go into a medium that I'm not as familiar with, and I was still very proud with the end result, and it's fun to do that. I will recommend doing that. My pen isn't working. Hold up. Anyway, I'm out of questions. I think I'll probably color the leaves.